Hello everybody, it's Stephen here for the Idiot Quilter and welcome to my weekly episode. It is episode 199 for January the 10th, 2023. So what have I been working on? Well, let's pop right up to it now. This is called Stars of Wonder and it doesn't have any borders on it yet, but the main part of it, the center part, is done. And this is something I've been working on just off and on when I go to the sew days at the club with Walter's sewing class people. So I have the borders cut. There are 3 actual borders in various widths that have to go around this. So I'm going to get those on sometime this week, and then it'll be ready for Lucy. And I really like this one. I think it's turned out really nice. It isn't a huge quilt. Once it gets the borders on, it will be a little bigger. And it's just a twin size, but that's okay. I am leaning towards the smaller quilts these days for a variety of reasons. They use less fabric, they're faster to make, and I can get them on a Lucy with no problem, although Lucy will handle a queen size quilt as well. But again, it takes less time to quilt when it's on Lucy as well. So yeah, that one is done, and I don't know if this one's going to be a keeper or this is one that I might donate to something like Project Linus, or I'll give it as a gift to somebody. I really need to do that kind of thing. That's on my plans, to go through all the quilts that I have made since I started quilting and sort them out. Sort them out into, 2 different groups. Ones I want to keep and ones that I think I could give away, that I could give up, in other words. We become so attached to our quilts, don't we? That sometimes after we've put all the work into it and we look at it and we're really proud of what we've done, we're kind of loath, I think, to give it away. But how many quilts does one person need, really? So that's one project. And then I started another one, and this one is not to a pattern. These are Lemoyne stars, and I'm playing with the Lemoyne star die that from AccuQuilt. And I'm going through my stash. I found all these different fabrics that I have. Well, they're all actually from the same line. I've made a few more since I've taken this picture. This was something that I worked on at the last sew day this past Saturday at the club. And I've got them up on my design wall behind me now. You can sort of see those peeking up behind me. And I've added a few black ones. Let me just go over here. You can see they're just over my shoulder. I've added some black ones in there, and I'm still not sure what I'm going to do with this. I kind of thought I might do a different star block and, do alternate between the Lemoyne and a different one. But I took a look at my AccuQuilt dies that do stars, and they are smaller. They don't make ones this size. These blocks are 9.5 inches unfinished. I want the colors to pop, but I also want some interest in this. So I'm going to make a few more of those black and white stars. And I have in my mind that I'm going to lay it out a little differently. I may have to make a few more of the colored stars as well to get this to the size that I want. And then I think I may sash it. And I'm thinking of using sort of a mid-tone of gray fabric. I have to look at my stash, see what I have. I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do yet, but it will be very colorful. And I'll let you know. Making these Lemoyne stars using the AccuQuilt means no Y seams, for one thing. And once you get used to the orientation of the pieces you cut, it goes along fairly quickly to make each block. In fact, to the point where it almost becomes tedious, because you're chain piecing away you go. It becomes sort of it's almost like an assembly line kind of approach to this. But anyways, I wanted to try out that die. I mean, I bought it a few months ago, so I thought I should give it a go, and we'll see what I can come up with this. Ooh, I just had another idea. I'll save that idea for another time with you. I just thought of something really interesting I could do. Okay, this is what happens. Squirrel. Okay, so back to the Star of Wonder quilt for a moment. Okay, I decided just to have a little fun, and as I was putting these blocks together, I decided, and finishing them up, I decided to record myself, and then I took that recording and I speeded it up, made it go a lot faster, just for fun, just to see what's happening. So yeah, I'm going to put that in here right now, just for something amusing. So that takes me to what's been happening, what's new. Well, nothing really new, but there were two events. One I already mentioned, which was the Sew Day at the club. And this is put on by the guy who teaches the Zoom classes that Walter takes online. And actually, there weren't many of us there. We were all guys for a good part of it, which is kind of funny because in this class, it's all women except for Walter and the instructor. But some of the women, for various reasons, couldn't make it. And so there was three of us to start with, the teacher, Walter, myself. Because this is at a club here in our neighborhood, it is our gay club. There was another couple of guys came in who are working on some projects as well. It's kind of an interesting mix because some of the drag queens come in to sew because they are making their own costumes and things like that. One guy was there. He wasn't making a costume. He was making an apron, like a butcher's apron. And he had this really fantastic fabric. It was, excuse me, it was Legos, but all done in sort of rainbow colors down it. I have seen that fabric before, and I have thought about buying it, but I never had any purpose for it. But he made an apron from it, and this was one of his first sewing projects. He's done curtains before, like hemmed curtains. So the instructor, Brandon is his name, he was helping him out with that, and it turned out really nice. I'd kind of like to make one. And it had an adjustable, what do you ever call it, uh, neck string, rope, whatever that's called. So, you has a little clip on it kind of a thing so you can adjust it. And it looked really good. So, yeah. And Walter worked on the bags that he's been working on. Think he wants to branch out. I said to him, "You're either ahead or behind," because this was a Christmas bag. They didn't get done over Christmas, so he was finishing that up. And I was working on these Lemoyne stars as well, as I've already shown you. One of the ladies from his class did show up a little bit later on, and she had this fantastic looking jacket that she had been making, and she was finishing up an advent calendar because she does both quilting and garment sewing. And it was really nice, this advent calendar with the pockets and everything on it. So she's ahead for Christmas this year with it all. And yeah, it's kind of nice to go. It's a different environment. And there's other people I'm sewing with, and there's conversation, as there usually is. And it's absolutely free. So it's just like a bunch of people getting together and sewing, you know, nothing more than that. And that's okay. That's fine. That works out. So we had Craft and Chat this past week too. It was the first Wednesday of the month. Craft and Chat is growing. Every time that I run it, which is the first Wednesday of every month, as I already said, a few more people come to it, and that's okay. And if you've ever thought about attending, but you're a little bit shy, don't be. Fantastic group. I look forward to doing Craft and Chat every month. Many of those people that are there, I consider friends, even though we have never physically met. But I do consider them my friends, and I really enjoy sewing with them and the conversation we have. And of course, they are enablers for me. Somebody always comes up with something and says, "Have you seen this?" And I go, "No," and I want it. So I end up spending money. And this time was no exception to the rule. I ended up buying a bunch of glide threads. Glide thread is the thread that I use on Lucy for quilting. And I already have quite a few colors. And Walter bought me some, as you know, for Christmas as well. Well, there was a sale at a place in Ottawa called Three Dogs Quilting. I don't think I have ever reviewed them, but I think I should. And I might for next week. I'll see. Gotta check though. I don't think I've ever reviewed them. Well, they were having a special on glide threads. You could get 30 glide threads, and you got to pick out the colors yourself for 160 bucks. Well, that isn't a fantastic price, but that's a good price. That's less than what they would usually cost you. Plus, they came in a nice plastic storage box, which I have several of these storage boxes, and I bought them before, and I forget what they cost me, but I don't think they were particularly cheap. I want to say they were around 20 bucks, 25 bucks, something like that. So yeah, so I immediately put in an order. They had an order sheet. You checked off the threads you wanted, and away it went. And that was Wednesday when I did it. I got it on Friday. I mean, let's talk fast. So yeah, I definitely have to make sure that if I haven't already reviewed Three Dogs Quilting, and I don't think I have, I'm going to look into it and check it out, because I was impressed based on, that order that I put in. So I had to buy, of course. One thing leads to another. So I needed to buy another thread stand. I have thread stands mounted on the wall in Lucy's room. And I have reorganized all my threads so they're sort of in rainbow color across. So it's easy to find, whatever shade that I want. I love threads. And, they're so beautiful. Anyways, they should be out on display if you have the space for them. So, yeah, I should maybe take a picture of my setup for those and show that to you maybe next week. I will do that. But anyways, yeah, so it was a great day. Craft and Chat, I got a lot of things done. I learned a lot of things, and I bought a lot of things too. Okay, so as I said, if you're interested, the next one happens. Okay, my computer's doing weird things. Okay, I don't know what that was. but it just decided to work on things all on its little lonesome here. I don't know. Okay, weird. All right, where am I? I can't see myself. There I am. Sorry about that. Anyways, join us for Craft and Chat. First Wednesday of every month. And if you'd like to be on the mailing list for it, just drop me a line. My email's in the show notes below, and I'll be more than happy to put you on the mailing list. And just while I'm thinking about it right now, I've had a couple of inquiries about when I'm going to do my spring retreat. I have a date. I'm not going to tell you that date yet. There's a lot of things happening right now. Some of them I'm going to talk about in a few moments. I am going to have a spring retreat. It's going to be the late spring, okay, this year. Generally speaking, usually I have it in around the tail end of March, but there's something on at the tail end of March that's conflicting with that date. And into April, well, April's got Easter, so that takes away one weekend. This event that's happening at the tail end of March takes up the first weekend in April as well. And Walter and I have planned a trip. Yes, we are going away in mid-April for a couple of weeks. We're going out to BC. So we're going to Vancouver. We've got our flights already booked. We've got our hotels, some of our hotels booked. Walter's still looking at, he's my travel agent. He looking after our accommodation, making all arrangements, getting the rented car. We've got a rented car reserved and everything. And our hope is that we'll be able to travel around Vancouver, out to Vancouver Island, to Victoria, maybe Nanaimo, down to Abbotsford, where my brother lives, to see my brother and his family. That'll be nice. And other parts unknown at the moment where we're going to go. And of course, I'm going to be shopping for fabric. So I've got to make sure that I don't take too many clothes with me so I have room in my suitcase. I mean, worst case scenario, if I see something I really like and I want a lot of it at one place, I'll get them to ship it. I guess I could do that. So that would be kind of nice. Do it at the early part of the trip, get it shipped, and when I come home from the trip, it might be here waiting for me. I don't know. Wait and see. So yeah. So that's interfering with the month of April. In June, we're going to the National Quilt Show, and that's in the first week of June, pretty much. I think it's the first weekend of June. And we've got that trip already booked because we're going to drive there and we're making it a vacation as well. We're going to do the East Coast and we'll be down there for a couple of weeks as well. Walter's already got everything booked for that. He got the hotels all booked. He's got where we're going, our itinerary. He's got it all worked out. Walter should have been a travel agent. He actually loves doing this kind of thing. And you want to know something? That is fine by me. If someone else is going to plan it for me, I'll go along for the ride. It's so bad that I have to say to Walter when we get up on one of these kind of trips in the morning, go, okay, where are we now and what are we doing? Kind of thing. And that's okay. He loves doing that kind of thing. I don't. So we both have our strengths. Of course, I will be researching though quilt stores all over the place, East Coast and out on the West Coast. So if any of you people who may live in those areas out there have some suggestions, send them my way so I can do some research on that. So that means back to the retreat. The retreat is not going to probably happen. Well, I'm pretty sure of when it's going to happen, sometime in early May. Now, I'm not giving you a date yet. I have a date in mind. The reason I'm not is because nothing is written in concrete yet. I am starting the process of planning for it. I've already lined up one speaker. I'm looking for a couple of others. And, like I don't get huge, big names, but I get interesting people. If you've been to my retreats before, I've had some very interesting speakers. And because I can't pay them, because this event is, as you know, free. So, I don't have the funds to pay somebody like a Jenny Doan and Angela Walters or, a Donna Jordan to speak at my retreat. It would be nice. It would be really nice if I could, but I can't. But I've got some other people in line for this that I'm thinking about. And yeah, So anyways, just very, very advanced notice. It'll be sometime early May. Watch this space for more announcements in the next, month or two. Okay, so I do have a demo for you this week with the AccuQuilt cubes. And it's how to use them, because Walter bought me the companion sets for Christmas for several of my cubes, and I have not yet actually used them, but I thought I'd put this little demo together for you to show you what I'm talking about. For Christmas, Walter bought me the companion sets for the 6-inch and the 8-inch cubes from AccuQuilt. Now, you can do a lot with the 8-inch and the 6-inch cubes, or any of the cubes for that matter, from AccuQuilt when it comes to making blocks. But these just add a little bit more variety to the blocks you can create. This one set for the 6-inch, as you can see here, is called the Mix and Match set, and it's angles. And the other set are corners, and these are the two 6-inch cube sets. He also got me the 8-inch as well. So this really opens up a whole lot more opportunities for making a lot of other blocks. Now, along with those, you can download and print out information about what you will get. And for this is the corner set, and you have to use it with the 6-inch quilt cube. But all of these, 72 different block patterns you can make with those. But with the angles as well, you can make another 72 different ones. So in combination with these two, you have probably over 148 or 144 blocks. Am I doing the math right? Yes, I am. So let's take a look inside this description. Well, first of all, let's take a look at the cube box itself. And let's grab the angles one. So you've got two boxes within the box. This one is what they always put with all of their cubes. There's a CD that tells you about them. Doesn't give you a heck of a lot of information. It's just sort of an overview of how to use the system. They have a pattern book. So this has all kinds of different blocks you can make. And there is a cutting mat as well. Okay, let me get it up here so you can see. There's also a cutting mat to go along with it, which is definitely something you need if you're going to use the AccuQuilt. So that's in a little, oops, I'm dropping everything all over everything. I'm a klutz. Okay. So let's pull out the other box. Now these are the dies themselves, and I love the way AccuQuilt packages all of this. These are very substantial boxes, great for storing, and you know exactly what you have. I have them all on my shelves, and because the end is printed very clearly, it even shows you the various shapes and gives you the numbers because they do everything by numbers, which is good as well. I have no problem locating what I need when I need it. So let's open this up. Let's move these out of our way and get this into shot. And so here we have the 4 dies that come with this set. Now I haven't opened any of these yet, and I'm not going to take the time to do that now, but this is the die, and each die also has a basic pattern on and tells you how to use this particular die. Now it does say for use with Go Cube Mix and Match 6-inch block, and they give you the number of that, and the Go Cube 6-inch companion set angles, which is what this particular box is. So yeah, a lot of things you can make with these add-ons. Now, if we take another look in this booklet that came with this, you can see that there are quite a few, and let me just move this down a little bit so you can see it better. So you see, there are patterns showing you how to make all of these various cubes. So if you don't have electric quilt for designing, or you don't want to get out a piece of graph paper and do your own, be very easy to design a quilt using these particular cube sets. And, you can mix and match whatever you want. So I am going to do a few of these, and maybe I'll do a series on making a quilt using the AccuQuilt system, and using the add-on cubes sets for the cube sets that I have. These aren't cheap, I will tell you that right now. This is well over $200 for each one of these. So Walter was very generous in his gift giving to me this year, but he always is. And I'm looking forward to trying this all out in the very near future. So that takes us to the subscribers quilt of the week, and this comes from Sherry Shamil. I'm never sure if I'm saying Sherry's last name right or not, but you know who you are, Sherry, and I'm sorry if I've butchered it. But she sent me a picture of a very beautiful creation, and I'm going to share it with you right now. This week's quilt from a subscriber comes from Sherry Shamel. Hope I'm saying Sherry's last name correctly. And she writes, "You really were my inspiration for getting Christmas projects started this year. I made the quilt top in August when you shared that you were starting makes for Christmas. It was my last finished project and gift giveaway. I must admit I didn't want to part with it. It's truly all scraps and I had to piece the back. I quilted it on my domestic, not quite a trim size, so was able to get it done in a day. Thank you for your inspiration and for all the YouTube content." Okay, so let's take a look at Sherry's quilt here. Now, I'm sorry, I've blown this picture up a little bit bigger, and so it's a little bit blurry, but it is still a very beautiful picture, and I love the little houses. I love quilts that have little houses on them. I've made a few myself, and this looks really, really great. And the quilting on it, although it's very difficult to see in this picture, looks very nice as well. And she says she did it on her domestic machine, which is no small feat. And let's take a look. This is the back, and she did a pieced back. Again, sorry for the pixelization in the picture, because when the pictures came through, they were very tiny, and this is the best I can do so you can see it. But nevertheless, I think you can appreciate the great beauty and the amount of work that Sherry has put into this quilt. So Sherry, thank you so much for sharing this beautiful quilt with us, and I look forward to seeing some more of your creations in the future. So I'm getting a little low on subscriber quilts, so if you want to send me a picture of one of your creations, quilt, garment, bag, crochet, knit, artwork, whatever, just send me one or two, no more than two, pictures of your lovely creation with a short little blurb about it, 50 words or less, and just send it to my email, and I will feature you on an upcoming episode of the Idiot Quilter. Okay, so that takes me to the YouTube of the week, and this one's called Terribly Rad. This week's YouTube channel is called Terribly Rad, and this is a new channel to me, and I heard about it at first on the Guy Who Sews YouTube channel, Sean, and when he was featuring his trunk show of about 21 different YouTube creators. And this one caught my eye, and I have to be honest, I have not studied it very far yet, but I'm going to soon because I'm thinking of sending out a request for an interview with the lady who puts this up. But as you can see, it's all about quilting, and she has lots of things on here. Garden Path quilt top, quilt bee quilting, sew together bags, Dinorama baby quilt. Looks like she has some tutorials. She has some sew-alongs. She has a lot of interesting things on here that are worth exploring. Let's just take a look at her playlist to see how things are organized. She has her 2023 quilts, so I guess that's a new project she's starting. She did Quiltmas as well, something called Fabric Fun, her vlogs, her 2022 quilts, etc. There's quite a bit here to choose from, and I think I'm really going to enjoy browsing through her particular YouTube channel. So if you're looking for somebody new, she hasn't been on the scene very long by the looks of things, then I suggest you check out Terribly Rad. So, future projects. Well, although we're past Christmas, I do love Christmas and winter projects, and this one is yeah, it could be a Christmas, it could be just a winter thing. It's called Snowman Placemats, and it's a designs by Juju in the hoop project. And I love my in the hoop projects on my embroidery machine, and so this is one I want to get to really soon. And yeah, and I also need to, just remembered this morning because I tucked it away and out of sight, out of mind. I also need to start or getting working on the tree skirt so I can have it done for this coming Christmas as well. But anyways, back to the snowman placemat. I think they're just kind of cute, and they're great for not just Christmas, but they're great for the winter time as well. So here's what I'm talking about. This week's pattern that I want to share with you is actually an in the hoop embroidery file, and it's called In the Hoop Snowman Placemat by Designs by Juju. And I've been buying a lot of their designs lately, especially when they put them on sale. And as you can see, this particular design was on sale for half price at the time when I bought this. Now, you might say, well, this is very Christmassy. And yes, it is. But I think that depending on the colors that you pick, you could make this into a great set of winter style placemats as well. And I think it's fun. And I think this is one of those little Christmas projects that I'm going to start working on way in advance of Christmas 2023 and set it aside as a potential gift for someone. I do love doing in the hoop applique designs. They're really easy, and this one looks like it's going to be a lot of fun, and the end result will be worth the time it takes to create a set of probably 4 of these. So if you're interested in doing an in the hoop design and getting way ahead of your Christmas or winter 2023 projects, then you might want to go to Designs by Juju and pick out something like this. And so that takes me to an interview. Yes, I have an interview this week, and it's with one of my subscribers, Pat Jennings. And I'm going to tell you this something, I'll let you in a little secret. When Pat approached me for an interview, and I love it when people approach me to do an interview, that's great. And I thought, well, she doesn't have a YouTube channel. Now, that's not necessarily a prerequisite, although many of my interviews have been with people that have YouTube channels because I want to help them promote their YouTube channel as well. Well, Pat doesn't have one, but she does have an Etsy store, and I was very hesitant. I thought, what kind of interview is this going to be? It was a brilliant interview. I will tell you this right now. Pat is so very, very talented. And you're going to see some examples of her work. And, well, you're going to love this interview. So here's a little teaser to the interview with Pat Jennings. But you've got a lot of experience then with sewing in that. Now, did you ever do sewing professionally? Like, as in, did you do things for as a little business or?
Well, this is the first time in my life, 2 years ago, right in the midst of the pandemic, I made the decision that I had so many pieces of my work, and I have gifted my children and others so many pieces that I felt I should start trying to get these things out into the world where other people might be able to love them and appreciate. So right now I have an Etsy store.
Oh, okay.
It's Pat Jennings Art, all one word, and I am on Etsy. And I think right now I have 62 pieces listed.
Wow. That's a lot.
Some are smaller things that I have made, but most are my bigger quilts.
Yeah. So you may want to check out Pat's store. Her Etsy store link is in the show notes for the actual interview. Okay. And there's a link too, as well, in my show notes to that interview. Okay, so that takes me to an online quilt store this week. This one is called Prairie Love Knits, and this was recommended to me by one of my subscribers. This week's online quilt store is called Prairie Love Knits, and this was suggested to me by one of my subscribers, Colleen, and I think this one has more to do with actual sewing like garments and things like that, as opposed to quilting, although they do have quilting things on here. So let's explore this a little further. This is my first look at this particular website. So on their homepage, you have some different things. You have lycra, you have different prints, you have sweatshirt knit fabric. There's a lot of different things here. They have zippers. They have hardware. Looks like they may have some panels as well. They do have, and I don't like this, that this keeps flipping around, and I'm not sure why it's doing that. Something in their design, I guess. But anyways, they do have in stock over 1,000, over 1,100 things. I'm not sure what those things are. If I click on that, does it give it an idea? I guess that includes everything, all of their items, hardware, fabric, etc. Okay, so right now I'm a little confused. Let's take a look at some of the other things. At the top it says, tells you when the store was being closed over the Christmas holidays. It has something called the PLK Exclusive Club. All right, well, it looks like there's some membership. So what's the membership all about? Club full of discounts and perks. Limited time only until January the 10th. We open the doors only a few times a year. Okay, you get 15% discount every day, 10% off pre-orders, early bird and discount access to fabric, quilt patterns, art releases, get discounts at other small shops. And then there's members only, custom printing as well. A one-time payment of $180. And is that for a year? I don't know. That seems really, really expensive for what they're offering. Yeah, that if you're interested in something like that, I'm not interested in memberships on sites, so I'm not going to explore it any further, but maybe you are, so you might want to explore it. Okay, pre-order new arrivals. Let's check under new arrivals and see what we have. So we've got some needles, we've got some books, we've got some fat quarter bundles. Interesting fat quarter bundles. Hazelwood, Dusk, I haven't heard of those before. They have some remnants. They have some batting. They have some French terry, brushed sweat, brushed sweat, sorry. Rented lips. Yeah, okay. And I have no idea on these prices for some of these fabrics because I don't buy sewing fabrics. Okay, let's take a look. Do they have, here we go, quilting cotton and woven. This will give us a little better idea. Washed linen fabric is, oh, I do not like this, how it bounces all over. It does it every time it changes this up here at the top, or it's putting more things on. I don't like that at all. That's annoying. That's nothing to do with the store. That has everything to do with website design, I think. So they have washed linen fabric per half meter, $10.50. I don't know if that's a good price or not. Canvas. Okay. Poplin, cotton poplin, $6.50 a half meter. I'm looking for quilting cotton, organic cotton. Suppose you could use poplin. Yeah, there's 313 items. Let's just hop ahead a page and see what more. Wovens. Yeah, in my way of thinking, their fabric line is more for the sewer than it is for the quilter. I guess. I don't know. I really don't know. I'm very confused by all of that. Other fabric, faux fur, minky, sherpa, teddy, sweater knits, cuddle fleece, full leather, apparel, swim collection. Yeah, they have all of that kind of thing. Okay, they do have quilt patterns. that are in PDF format, and they have one. And yeah, okay. Nothing much there to choose from. Quilt Patterns paper, well, same thing. Oh, and then they have one like this. I guess if you want to buy the same one, 5 of them in a bundle, maybe you're doing a class. I'm not sure what R41 retail is. Oh, I guess it's a line of fabric. $13.50 for half meter, expensive. $27 for a meter. I don't know anything about these kinds of fabrics. I'm sorry, I'm telling you a lot of things here. I probably shouldn't have reviewed this site because I am not really comfortable with what they have to offer. But I am showing it to you because maybe you're interested in European jersey, French terry, bamboo kits, and bamboo knits, organic knits, organic waffle knits. They do have a lot of other types of fabric that's just out of my comfort zone as far as quilting is concerned. Under sewing supplies and notions, we have Gutermann thread, we have needles, we have heat and bond, we have serger threads. That's okay. No, okay. I was going to say that's expensive. No, 270 is pretty good for serger thread. Yeah, they have this, that, and the other thing in there. Okay. Mystery packs. What's okay? I hate this popping up like this. Mystery packs. No results. So I guess there's the mystery. There is no mystery. Okay, remnants sale. So I guess ends of the bolt kind of a thing. Prices are steep, but again, it may be the type of fabric that they are selling. And this is, as I said, out of my comfort zone. Sew along boxes, custom stationery, custom printing. So I guess they will do custom printing on fabric for you. Gift cards, samples, and swatch cards, freebies. So what do they got under freebies? Digital file flower pot. Okay, so that looks like it's a machine embroidery file. Digital file beach days. Geofloral. Digital file poppy garden. But those aren't free. We only have one freebie by the looks of things. So, okay. Store info. What are their shipping rates? Let's check that out. Canada and the US international. Canadian orders. Flat rate in Alberta of $15. Other provinces flat rate of $20. Well, that's okay. And orders over 350 Canadian ship free. Well, that's high. And they go on. So they explain everything out here for you very nicely. Okay, well, overall, I'm sure I can't give this a fair assessment. I think the prices are a little steep. I think their shipping is reasonable. They seem to have a wide variety of fabrics that go way beyond quilting fabrics. So if you are a sewer, a garment maker, this may have more appeal to you than it does to me. But overall, it's definitely an option that you might want to check out if you do more than just quilt, I guess. So that's Prairie Love Knits. I guess it says it all in its name, doesn't it? Knits. So that's bringing me close to the end of this episode, and just some what's coming up thoughts here. Stephanie of Stephanie Stitches and I are doing a sew along. Yes, I'm a little nervous about this from several points of view. The technology that's needed to put this together, because we're doing it as a live. And also, you know me, I'm an idiot quilter, and this is when I will probably, in a public forum, make all kinds of mistakes. Thank God I have Stephanie backing me up on this one because I can lean on her expertise. And Stephanie has done many sew-alongs before in the past, so she is no stranger to this concept. So I think it's going to be a very enjoyable time. I think there's going to be a few laughs along the way. probably at my expense, but that's okay. Yeah, so when does this start? Well, first of all, we put out an announcement on Monday about it, and our first session is tomorrow, Wednesday, at the time of recording this, which is January the 11th, starting at 9 a.m. It's only going to run for 45 minutes or an hour. It's not going to be long. And this first one might be relatively short because we're going to talk about the pattern. It's a free pattern. We're going to give you the link for downloading it. And we're going to talk about how to handle the pattern as well. It's a very beginner friendly pattern. If you know how to make half square triangles, you're not going to have any problem with this. But even if you don't, we're going to show you how in this sew along. And yeah, it's going to run from January 11th to about February the 22nd. It'll be Wednesday mornings, 9 a.m. live on my channel here, so watch for that. And if you can't catch it then, it'll be rebroadcast on YouTube afterwards, so you can pick it up at any time that you wish. So, wish us luck on this, and I hope many of you will be able to join us as well. So that is starting this Wednesday, January the 11th, 2023. Okay. And I think that's about it for me today. So I hope you have a great week. I hope you have a creative week. I hope to see some of you tomorrow on the Sew Along Live. And yeah, so we'll catch you later. Bye for now.